Well, I guess we can start then. I think Quinn will be joining us via Zoom at some point. Welcome everybody, and thanks for being here.
Could I note that I made it on time?
Yes, thank you.
You're the first one.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, I have regularly gotten a text from Quinn every meeting, and walked in 30 seconds later, and I made a concerted effort and wound up 10 minutes early. I
Nice.
just want the record to show that.
Congratulations.
Please, can I get a special call?
Just in the minutes. There it is.
Thank you, thank you.
So in looking at the agenda for today, our first item is discussion of water conservation plan. And is that your item, Darren?
Oh, I thought Quinn was going to do that.
Okay, let's wait on that one until
Yeah.
Quinn joins us then.
Because he was, yeah.
Okay. It might also be helpful to wait for Quinn for number 2, because I believe the calendar discussion is us discussing when we want to meet. And I think we want his input as well, if he can join us. So why don't we jump ahead to number 4, since we have guests with us today. This is a discussion of a partnership or potential partnership with the library on the Youth Birthday Art Contest, Gallery, and or exhibit. And so, Sarah, I think you're the community connection here. So if you can
So
maybe tell
just
us a little bit about it.
a brief background. I think it was our, I can't remember if it was our first school year or our second year. I don't know if you remember, Darren, but there was a previous committee member who came up with this idea of a Youth Earth Day art contest. And so we've done it most every year. We did not do it last year. We did not have the capacity to do that last year, but we've done it for a few years. And we've reached out to the schools in the area and invited their students to participate, and there's been some kind of prize. They had their work displayed on the digital billboards at the mall and on social media. And so this is Chelsea Conklin.
Hi, Chelsea.
We know each other. We're neighbors and friends. And
Well, I just like too much.
I'm like, no. It's like, we have a weird, like, church and state is weird here, so.
Yes, it is.
So, yes, she's my neighbor and friend, and that we know each other from church, so. And I will ask her to introduce herself, and also Holly.
Okay.
What you guys do with library, and then we can talk about how maybe we can find a work together.
That sounds great. So I'm Chelsea. This is Holly Pearson. Holly is the associate in the outreach department, and I am a part-time event specialist and publicist for the outreach department. And we also both work together. Holly's the head of our art team, so she handles all of the art galleries and art collection in the library. So when I heard that there was this opportunity that you guys put together this art show, but maybe needed a space to display submissions that you've received. And we have a gallery, and we're looking for art shows to go in our gallery. So I thought could be a good partnership. So.
And we have brainstormed like Earth Day as an option. That's kind of an opening in the calendar we have right now. And we used to work, there was an Orem Arts Council member that was kind of liaison with the schools and did a program called Orem Stories, where she worked with art specialists in Orem elementary schools and junior high school to get art. Or around like Orem Stories was themed around like your hero who's from Orem or moved to Orem, and it was like kind of a portrait. They had a little text card that had their story. But anyway, she left the Arts Council, and we haven't been able to display kids' art. We would love to display student art from Orem students again. And so that's kind of where we had actually brainstormed running our own kind of Earth Day or other themed contest, and to center their art around and then display it in our. We have our children's wing that's north of the library where the stained glass window is. That's where we would display it there. And that's kind of where we have a lot of our picture books and chapter books. And so a lot of kids would see the art as well. And so we're looking to do that, something like this once a year. And so it really fits like kind of one of the ideas we were looking for.
So when we were talking, we were just like, hey, maybe we can find a.
Wow.
We've never
Yeah,
had,
this is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've never had a place or an opportunity to be able to display kind of like a gallery. And that was kind of the next step that I thought would be great to be able to provide the artists an opportunity for everybody to come in and see what they've been working on. It's still, it's relatively small, but it has been growing. And I think that with the library backing it, it has a greater potential to have much broader reach than we.
We can also do some prizes. We have ribbons from the past. We do some high school art show as well. Where we have like a director's prize, so the library director, and then we'd have the ribbons all of them on display, and we could even do more of a prize than that if we wanted to, and definitely do some publicity. Chelsea also brought, do you want to talk about the art cards? This is something Chelsea developed.
I'll pass these around. So these are examples like from past shows that we've
Look at
done.
the back too.
Yeah, and then flip it over. So with past exhibits we've had an image reproduced on the front of the card, and then the back of the card has library resources, books, online resources, and also a fun activity for children to try their own chance to make art. This is the first one that we did, and this art show was up for 2 months, and we had 300 of these papers taken. So it showed to us that there was a lot of interest from the community, and it was a great way to get library resources out there to our patrons. So we thought maybe you guys would be interested in collaborating. If there's any resources that you would like to promote, you could include that there as well.
And maybe we could do the first place winners, piece on
Oh,
the card, or
yeah.
even do first, second, and third. Sometimes we do a couple of different cards, and like kind of like those postcards you get at the
Yeah.
like, MOA or the
Uh-huh.
art museum that patients can take home
That's
their
so
favorite piece
cool.
of
I
art. And
Yeah.
And that was Chelsea's idea, because she takes her kids to like the MOA.
Yeah, we love the MOA.
And
Yeah.
they have a lot of cool things for preschoolers. And
Yeah.
education resources.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a perfect collaborative opportunity.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow.
Yeah,
it's
like
This stuff isn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of like the plan or any sort of coordination, what do you think would be, what can
Yeah,
the
what steps
committee
do-
do to be helpful?
I mean, do you want to like maybe you could tell us the parameters you had, or how it got into
Yeah.
the schools and how that
Yeah,
worked?
I
and
can,
how you could help
that
us
was
with
something that I was meaning to do, was gather all of the material that we've
Mhm.
collected over the years and see, if any of it's useful or we can borrow or whatever. But you guys obviously are more established and have a broader reach. So I think it would make sense for us to help you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So perhaps we can meet sometime and I can.
Yeah, that'd be helpful to just see, because we haven't done
Yeah,
like
and
a
just-
contest before,
Yeah.
like, how did you advertise it? What were
Yeah.
how long did they have to submit their pieces? And
Yeah.
like right now we have these frames that we were started using for the Orem Stories show
Mhm.
that can fit an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper.
Okay.
And then we can hang those with our hanging system. So we have 40 of those. So we could hang, up to 40 of them pretty easily, really nicely in these frames.
Okay.
And then award as a certain amount of awards. So we want to do.
If somebody submits, I guess we can talk about like if they wants to do a 3D sculpture
Well, like
or
categories?
anything. We haven't had any so far, most of it.
Yeah, we definitely have limited space for that, but maybe on the top of some bookshelves and things.
Again, we haven't had that issue at this point.
Yeah. Okay,
Anyway, so
okay. Cool. Well, now let's set up a meeting. then.
perfect, great. Yeah.
Hear how it went in the past and what we can do.
How would you advertise it? Do you have,
Well,
Yeah.
so we have some connections to like school librarians if we want
Okay.
to target schools and ways we can, like, we always design like a poster as well as like a social media image. And so we can get that out digitally. We can get school libraries to post it on the bulletin boards. I mean, I think even if we're just hitting a lot of our our regular patrons that are Orem students,
Yeah.
will get a response, and just
Right.
in-house publicity and on our website and our social media channels. So.
Great. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
It's just thanks.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that feels great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we'll be in touch.
Yeah, and as far as timing for like first getting together, like what general, I mean, are you thinking sometime in December or we're starting in January or?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
January is.
Okay. Cool, I'm excited.
Yeah, this is
Thank
awesome.
you.
This is awesome.
And then, I mean, if you have certain resources that you want to put on the card, or, that would be great to get come from you. And we can also brainstorm, find things from our collection that like people can check out.
It would be relevant for.
Even if you have the activity, that would be good, or just tips or Earth Day for a month. To recycle.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to do like a kids activity of, making recycled art with random.
Yeah, kind of to upcycle,
Upcycle,
or it could even be
yeah.
like an idea for a fun service project. Or,
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks. Nice meeting you. Appreciate you guys letting us kind of sneak in at the beginning.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're always welcome.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. That's great, Sarah. Thanks
Yeah.
for making that connection.
She's a great sister.
She really, she is.
I know the lingo.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, you are?
Casseroles galore.
Right?
So I'm just looking through the rest of the. Okay, Quinn just texted me saying the Zoom link isn't working for me.
Oh, let's get him a new Zoom link then.
Says, text him back, say.
Yeah, I will email him the meeting ID.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like, I'm not sure. Quinn joined, does anyone have just like other report? Number 7 is report on individual stewardship assignments. Is there anything else that? Oh, yeah, that's.
Yes, please.
Sally, we met Wednesday yesterday. And we're starting to develop conference management. Or kind of like a vision for what we want the lake to be, working with the Jacobs Consulting. That's where they're based. So it's the members of said visioning community, and they're also likely gonna be public meetings. So I can send out when those meetings are. And there'll be like a public input process too, but it'll be the board members plus some other agencies like June Center. Mostly kind of like type agencies. Yeah, thinking like what's the vision for the lake in the next 50 years? It's exciting. Yeah.
So a management plan that starts with a vision, but it will go beyond a vision, I'm imagining,
That's
to
true.
some implementation steps and things like that.
Yeah, and I think it'll be a lot too, priorities, funding, project that's developed has to fit into the vision somehow, right? Yeah, and then it's coordinating all the cities with they all have these shoreline plans or different plans. So seeing how they all fit together.
It's a big
It's a lot of
job.
work.
Yeah.
It's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, very needed.
Yeah, so the
Very
consultants
needed.
are developing a map, an interactive map, basically, where they take all the city's plans that are around the lake,
Oh,
put them into
fantastic.
one, so you can see like what's happening where on the lake. Yeah, I think that sounds really good.
That's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is so needed. The commission didn't do anything like that. So you're
Right.
not building on anything that the commission already has. You're just sort of starting by commissioning, you tell the commission preceding the body. Yeah.
Great.
So we're just sort of coordinate things with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. That seems like what was intended
Yeah, I
from
think
the
it's going
from the
well.
creation of the Utah Lake Authority.
And I was advocating for, like, how are the Utah Lake users, how are they gonna get it? Right, people who use the lake, because, yeah, I mean, we can all sit around this board like, I'm not a heavy Utah Lake user,
Right.
but I know some people are. Yeah, so we're
So-
thinking about like ways to get that sort of input.
Good.
And there'll certainly be like, the public comment periods. And then, some like open houses to kind of like the State Street Master Plan.
Yeah.
So make sure that it's.
Thank you so much for keeping us abreast of that. And thank you for your work there. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's going well so far. It's been interesting. I've learned a lot.
Sure.
Was there any discussion about the demise of the Eilish proposal, or do you guys just like noted it and moved on?
No, there has been no discussion at the board meetings about that project.
You guys are just totally separate from it.
Right, well, there is like forestry, fire and state lands is on the board.
Is on the board.
Yeah. So they had like a Utah Lake meeting at UVU, organized out of forestry, fire and state lands, and it came up there
Yeah.
where, basically, yeah, she was there, and she was like, yeah. I think it's unconstitutional. But I think that there still might be some small sorts of niche type, I don't think that's out of the question.
Right.
And honestly, I'm not entirely opposed to that. Like,
Right. Yeah.
that's kind of
Wildlife habitat.
yeah, or like, yeah, some smaller sort of place. That's another thing with the map that the consultants are developing, like, okay, where are some places on the lake where you could have this type of thing?
Right.
Where would it be useful to have a little, that's my dream.
Yeah, right.
You know, that'd
No,
be cool.
Yeah.
Like, so some compromises, right? Which the island project wasn't a compromise.
Right. No, it was a
Yeah.
private developer wanting money. You know.
Yeah.
Right, no, this would be very different. No, this is a much better process. And I saw where I saw on social media somewhere where the Delta, Provo River Delta is getting very close to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be so exciting. That's
Yeah.
so cool, one big project.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of good stuff going on. This is so exciting.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's good. Yeah,
Looks
and I
like-
know some cities are a little, because they don't have representation on the board. right?
Yeah,
And I met with Brady, actually, the representative Rammer this
Yeah.
week, just to say like, because I've heard chatter about them changing board constituents and maybe
Right.
eliminating the governor's vice president.
Oh,
Which is
dear.
fine.
No, we all oppose that.
Yeah, so I was like, well, let me tell you why I think this position is important, not necessarily why I should be on it.
Yeah.
but why I think it's important.
It was a little odd that they excluded a couple of cities. You wonder why, right? If this
Yeah.
is supposed to be a governance
Also, they
mechanism.
rotate.
Right. That's still,
Yeah, Like.
I mean, how many-
Yeah.
But 3 or 4 are excluded, and
Uh-huh.
it would have been hard to increase the board size by a couple
Yeah.
of seats.
Right.
I don't know.
So yeah, we'll see.
It's like Quinn and Debbie have joined us. I don't know if Debbie was there before, sorry.
Welcome, Debbie. Welcome, Quinn.
Hello,
Thanks for joining us.
I'm joining you from my new job. I started today.
Oh,
Wow. Congratulations. What is it?
I'm working for MAG.
Nice.
I'm over economic development and community development for Utah County, Wasatch and Summit. It's the perfect job for me.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Community development, so you serve as some kind of liaison between
Yes,
that-
I will be the program manager over like CDBG grants throughout the communities, economic development stuff. There's a lot of infrastructure stuff. So I'm really excited. It's perfect with my
Fun.
experience as well as my former life as an economic developer in American Fork. So,
Wow, that's
Great.
fantastic. Congratulations.
yeah. Thank you. But it was day one, so I didn't dare leave early. That doesn't look good.
So you're still stuck in an
So
office
you're at
there.
work, so-
I am.
So now that we have everyone, we can go back, I think, to number 1 on the agenda, the discussion of the water conservation plan. And Quinn, we were thinking that you were going to lead us in that discussion. Is that correct?
I'm going through the airport right now, so I'm going to need a few minutes to be able to talk.
Okay. Well, maybe we can at least do number 2. We can start talking about the calendar discussion, and
Sure.
maybe Quinn can
Yeah.
give his input as well. So if I remember right, Sarah, Thursdays are going to be an issue next
I
year.
have 3-hour classes on Wednesday and Thursday evenings.
Ooh.
Again, that will be January through April. So we could either keep the same time and I'll just, email you thoughts about various agenda items. And you just pass back any assignments back to me, like that's totally fine. And then I can just join back in, Okay.
So Michaela and Matt, how much freedom do we have to move the meeting?
Not much.
Okay, that was
I
going to be the
ran
question.
it past Cheryl.
Okay.
She's over the transportation. She does what I do for them. And Tuesdays can get a little iffy because of city council. Wednesdays, twice a month, we have planning commission. And we try to avoid Mondays and Fridays. And kind of leaves us with Thursday from what she was saying.
Well, what
And TAC is also.
if,
Sometimes I have to.
what's that?
Transportation.
No,
Oh, it's on Tuesday. The
what
first
about one
Tuesday.
of the off Wednesdays, like first, this isn't Plan Commission second and fourth,
Planning commission is first and third, so
Okay,
we
so
could
what about like a
potentially do
second?
an off Wednesday.
like a second and fourth Wednesday?
Well, that doesn't help.
That
you.
doesn't help.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's the goal?
Because I went
I missed that.
What's that?
Okay.
So
Sarah
what
has
was the goal?
classes
So Thursdays and Wednesdays, Sarah would be able to join us.
For the
first half.
for
of
the
the year.
first, yeah.
First
I mean,
I think, as much as we would miss you, I think we could do for, I mean, I have had semesters where I've had that too. I've had a conflict and we've worked through it.
well, we have a first and third Tuesdays.
First Tuesday is TAC and I sometimes have to cover for worship. And then second and fourth Tuesdays are city council.
Yeah, city council second and fourth.
So I threw out
So
third Tuesday.
third Tuesday, I can't stay past 6:15 on Tuesdays. I have class. But that's normally not an issue.
So would that work for you? Third
The
Tuesday.
third Tuesday.
Yeah, so this would also benefit me in the spring semester because I do have a lab that I teach on Thursday afternoons and it goes until 5. So I will always be late or joining by Zoom, just like I did last spring.
Every Tuesday.
So we would run into that same problem. Okay.
That's okay. I mean,
Brainstorming options.
I'm just gonna check the calendar for like this room and stuff.
Yeah. Do you have a preference?
I will have some kind of unavoidable commitment because it's my big semester for a TA meeting. And my TA meetings are almost always at 5 p.m. But I do not know when that will be yet. It is impossible for me to schedule that until I can consult with my students and I'm still getting together my team. So I'm unfortunately unaware of any preference, but I might have a conflict no matter what we do.
I'll try my darndest to avoid it. And Quinn, if you can chime in, I don't know if you're available. Oh, he's
He
out.
left for-
Okay,
Yeah.
he's probably going through security.
Yeah. Bless his heart for trying to attend, though.
I know, we really
Yeah.
appreciate it. It's doing great.
Well, it sounds like generally, since Sarah would not be able to attend at all on Thursday, then maybe the third Tuesday would be the best option, if we can do that.
Maybe I'm confused. Were we, had you told her that you were gonna be stepping down at some point?
That was when, because when this commission or committee was first established, it was a limit of 2,
Oh, so
3.
now that.
Yeah, but now that that has been changed. So I was assuming, oh, this is the end
Got
of
it.
my
Okay.
second 3-year term.
That makes sense.
But-
So that's where my confusion comes.
Yeah. So as long as code still
Yeah. no,
allows
yeah,
it, then I think.
That makes sense. Thank you. I have to get out of my.
So, when Quinn rejoins us, we'll get his input on that too, but for now, maybe we can plan on that change.
What was that?
It
Oh, but
does,
both of you.
yeah, we were gonna have someone joining by Zoom no matter what. The real difference was that Sarah could join on Tuesday, but no. So,
Well, is it something, I know this would be kind of clumsy though, but if the first Thursday, wait, are you still gonna have on the first Thursday?
like all Thursdays.
Oh, all Thursdays.
Yeah, until the end of spring semester.
Well, okay, so that was gonna be my question is it something where if we wanted to schedule just for the spring semester, the third Tuesday and then the rest of the, June
Go back to
on,
Sure,
go
we can go
back
back
to
to
the first
Thursday.
Thursday?
I'd be fine with that.
Because then it would
It's
still,
always worked for
then
us.
we could get you back. At 5 o'clock and.
Yep.
So then it would.
Would that be okay?
Should
Sheila?
be
Can
fine
we,
with us.
can we move things around like that?
I think so.
As long as we like make it publicly known.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Once we
like
finalize it.
January through May, third Tuesday, and then June on.
This is what
Back
happens when
to
you
our
appoint
regular.
all scholars to this committee. Everybody is in school or teaches at a school. We get semester-based scheduling.
But yeah, it would feel kind of weird to move from our first Thursday.
Goodness, yeah, forever.
Written in stone for so long.
I don't see a problem with that. Do you think that'd be fine, Matt?
I think it's fine. I think, let's just double check with Jason or Ryan, see if there's anything I'm missing. And then
We can talk about both options with when he comes back and then. I'll double
Yeah,
check
we need to
with
hear
Jason
from
and
Quinn
Ryan and
too.
Email everybody.
Okay, so And then item number 3 is the discussion of the committee retreat. So,
It's the same kind of issue. We need to schedule something.
yeah, we
right?
need to schedule something. And in the past, we did it in January. Is that correct?
House, I think we've done it like November, haven't we?
Oh,
I think we moved it around. I think we've done,
We may have done something in January, but
Just so you know, the council retreat is usually the end of January, first week of February. Not that I don't know if there's some issue you'd like us to work on or, take on as far as we kind of set our priorities.
I'm just thinking December with the holidays and everything, it's gonna be hard to find time where we can get all together. So the goal of the retreat in the past has been, community building, but then also just to give ourselves a chance to reflect on the last year and then make goals for the coming. And we've done that outside of our regular meeting, right?
yeah,
Like not in lieu of, but
Right.
outside of some additional meeting.
yeah.
It's been held here, correct?
Sorry,
It's been held here.
it was last year and the year
The year
before we
were
did it in
in
the library.
Yeah,
council-
but it's
well,
still a publicly noticed meeting.
Yes,
Mhm.
correct.
It's a
Because we're-
public notice meeting.
Yeah. So.
You know where Sean hangs out? This is his court.
Fine.
That's you. Oh, hi, I'm Debbie.
That was quick.
Well, I'm still in my meeting. It's just, I'm Orange City Council. This is a
Oh.
meeting. I'm
Okay.
I'm leaving time, so.
So you don't need it?
No,
I wonder, well, I'm happy to try to do it whenever.
well, and conventionally, we've done our presentation to the city council sometime in March, like end of March. I think that's usually around the time that we presented. So I guess it would be helpful if it's sometime before then, so that we can. Yeah, I think,
Right,
some kind of like observables from your.
yeah.
I think January makes sense, new beginnings and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Are people gonna be around? We know,
I'm around.
Yeah.
sabbatical.
No conflict.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we could maybe, make a tentative date. Just gonna try to-
I mean, if we don't have tons of business, I mean, I think that we have done it in addition to our regular meetings because we've been ambitious in the past. I think there is no necessary reason why we can't do it as instead of or as part of our regular meeting. I don't know, it depends on how much business we have, but
So this would be the, assuming that we decide to do the third Tuesday, that would be the 17th of January.
We've normally done blocks like 2 hours.
yeah.
We've typically gone longer. And Michaela and Matt, I think you're welcome to come, but you don't have to. Is that correct?
Well, we
No, I
needed to
should
set up to
Okay.
record.
Oh, okay, right, for recording. I'm just thinking Michaela has to leave at 6, right? So
Yes.
basically,
I'll be here for.
So
okay.
if Matt could end the recording, I can get it.
All right, well,
What day was that?
that would be January 17th.
Oh, look, Quinn's back.
Oh,
Hey, hey, Quinn, we're doing some calendaring things. You have an opportunity to chat now and look at your calendar.
Yes, I do.
so we were thinking about, well, first of all, moving our regular meetings to the third Tuesday of each month, just for January through May next year, so that Sarah can join us. She can't attend on Thursdays.
And from the city perspective, we have the ability to do that.
Yes, we believe so.
We're gonna double check that, but we think so.
If the room is available, there's no other scheduled city meeting. So,
Third Tuesdays, January through April,
yeah,
Through May, including May.
through May. I, at the moment, can do that, and I'd be supportive of that.
Okay, great. Our second scheduling discussion has been about the committee retreat. And we were discussing doing it in January and possibly at our January meeting and just making it a 2-hour-long meeting. So that the second Tuesday would be, third Tuesday would be the 17th of January. And so we go from 5 to 7.
Do we need anyone from the city to join us?
Matt says he can join us for the whole time. Michaela can be here for the first hour.
At the moment, that's good for me, so I'm supportive of that.
Okay. Great.
no, I think that's great.
So that would be 5 to 7.
I can probably come at like 5:30.
Okay, perfect.
Would you like me to lead that facilitated, or did we talk about content at all?
We just discussed that in the past, we've done a reflection on the last year, the making committee assignments and goals. But yeah, if you could lead that, that would be awesome.
I will plan on that. If people can come prepared to share what they thought were our best accomplishments of last year and your vision for what your priorities are, that way we can collectively prioritize. I think that would be helpful.
Okay. Accomplishments and priorities. All right, so back to agenda item 1, Quinn, the discussion of the water conservation plan. We were thinking you could help us with that.
Okay, my question is, has everyone had a chance to see?
Also in St. Louis, Washington.
I know Sarah has.
Have we seen the water conservation?
That was the one they.
That was the one he
So,
sent.
I've got it on my phone right now. It was circulated. It was circulated in email on October 24th.
Okay, I looked at it like.
I read Price.
Yeah, I don't know, would it be helpful? I agree, it would be nice to start by looking at it. I wonder, is it even possible to put it on screen and just sort of look at some of the charts and graphs and kind of talk about them? Is that okay, maybe?
Yeah, can you forward it to me?
Would that be the easiest thing to do?
Yes.
Is that okay, Quinn? Does that sound like a good?
That's great. From my perspective, a good discussion on this would be for us to develop some alignment around which aspects of this we think are aligned with good principles and that we celebrate and endorse, and then which aspects of this do we think there might be some room for improvement to provide feedback to read.
Okay,
I'm working on pulling it up.
great. You know, because I mean, it's like 20+ pages, but a lot of it are graphs and charts and stuff. And I just think it might be nice to just sort of work through. Did that not come through? Sometimes it takes a minute.
I also feel like we can work through part of it today, and then we can find a time to put it on an agenda to follow up with it.
Do you have particular charts you look at?
Oh, good. I just sent it to you again, so sorry about that redundancy. I thought maybe I did something wrong.
No, let's just, I would suggest, I was just looking at it briefly, I might suggest just going through it. You know, we don't need to read everything, but let's at least get a feel for it, right? Maybe we can stop here for a minute. So description of Orem City and its water system. Is this okay, Quinn, if I just kind of take the lead on this, I guess, for a moment?
Yes, you are our water guy.
I am the water guy. So description of Orem City and its water system, water challenges and conservation goals, current conservation practices, current water rates, and continued conservation measures. I think that's mostly it. Can you scroll down there, Michaela, just a minute? Yep. Okay, so now we know how it's structured. Do you mind if
Go
I
ahead.
scroll a little bit?
All yours.
Okay, because you're busy doing other things. I don't want to ask you to do too much. Okay, so let's see, can we make that bigger a little bit somehow? There it is. There it is. Yeah. Okay. Total precipitation percentiles, January through December 2020. That's just so sad, right? Much below average, record driest. What is the thing? We're in the biggest drought in 1,500 years or so.
Yeah, it's the mega drought.
That's best put. 100,000 people, July 2021, top priority. So there's the city, I guess. Interesting. Water meter types and sizes. What are these numbers in here? This is just numbers of people who have this size of water meters, maybe. Yeah. Single family dwellings, mostly 3/4 inch meters. This is nice to look at a little bit of text here. Orem's leaders and residents place a high value on open space. Lakeside Sports Park, links to Sleepy Ridge. It is nice, the amount of open space. I agree with that. It's lovely. Inventory of water resources. I think we've kind of talked about that a little bit, where we get our water from. This is water production by month.
This sentence said the UDU pumps its own water for landscaping?
No, yeah, it's mostly from a well.
Okay, it's interesting.
Where's the well? Oh, right, I remember when they, yeah, okay. I remember that. That was a huge construction.
Use the water pump for deep well was recently constructed on campus. Okay.
We took out our beautiful native plant garden to build that.
So this is kind of the water cycle through the year, it looks like. Where snow melt is the most, right? So what's going on there?
That might be where the water's being sourced.
Right.
no,
Water
that's
production, yeah, it's from surface water. So this is going to be winter, you know, snow melt runoff kinds of stuff, springs, wells. There's an MDW, what is MWDO?
Oh, I
Something,
believe it's the Metro Water District Board.
okay. So this is, I don't know if this is important, but owns water shares in various private canal and irrigation companies as well as other entities. That must be acre feet. summary of city-owned groundwater rights. And we've kind of heard about this recently, right? That Orem is actually in really good shape this way because we've got lots of water rights. That's my bottom line understanding of all this, right? Historic and future water needs. Domestic water use in gallons per day per person and percent population growth from 2000 to 2015. This looks interesting. Domestic water use gallons per day per person and the growth, percent population growth. So, right, so we use more domestic water per person per day than anybody in the country except Idaho. That's the statistic that I remember hearing. Or Nevada. This doesn't show that. This shows that Idaho, because I think the blues are domestic water use per person, gallons per day.
Percentages is as the population grew from 2000 to 2015.
Right. So this seems like a lot. If we are higher than the rest of the country. Of course, we're also in a desert, but so are some of these states. And they seem to do better at domestic water use. That's always something that I wish we could work on.
I don't remember if it's addressed in here. Isn't part of the issue in Utah that the conservation districts basically are subsidized, or I don't know if they're the right word subsidized, but like a guaranteed money through taxes on what I'm looking for, property taxes, instead of just meter use, right? And so the way that they get funded doesn't necessarily.
I'm not sure I've heard this.
Yeah.
Like our water bill rates.
Yeah. So yeah, it's basically your water bill in Utah is artificially low because you basically pay property taxes and it's subsidized.
Oh, okay, I see.
And it's so
So
that
they
the
get subsidized
conservation
by-
districts
okay.
can't lose money. Like no matter what development project they do, they guarantee the money from property taxes, whether or not they sell the water.
So there's kind of a structural feature, the way they're funded. that-
Yeah,
That
And I
enables,
think
lower prices.
Arizona and California, maybe Colorado, some of these other places that might also use a lot of water, they don't have it set up that way. And so people will have to pay more for their water, and so that causes them to use less. So I know that there's a statewide debate on that there's strong industry lobbying to keep it in place to makes the conservation districts more profitable.
Interesting. Yeah, I've always wondered why we have such low water rates. I remember when we were talking to one of the people who helps with the Orem City Water, he told us that one of the reasons why they're low is because water runs downhill naturally in Utah. And so they don't have to build as much infrastructure to move water around. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, I would like to know what the elements of our low water rates are and how low they are. So we know water use is high, but we don't know much about comparative water rates in Utah to other places. That's not reported here.
Orem does have exceptionally low water rates.
Can I pipe in here?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember when we raised the water rates a couple years ago to cover some infrastructure plans. Oh man, did we get a lot of pushback from people.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it is low compared to other cities. We're right in the middle, but it really affects the bottom line of a lot of people. I don't know if you remember that when we bonded for the 10 million gallon water tank, because of that bonding, we were able to lower the rates 15%.
Right.
Because of that bonding. So, I mean, we've done the best we know how to manage water rates, but man, we had a lot of pushback for people who, not so much the single family, older families, but more of the fixed income people. There was a lot of
a lot of pushback. So.
Yeah,
So I don't know what the perfect balance is. I think we should always strive to, make sure we have infrastructure and plan for the future, but keep it as low as possible.
yeah. Yeah, when you have a history of having it a certain way, changing it is really hard for sure. Thanks for that reminder, Debbie.
No problem.
And then the next graph is Orem water consumption. This is a hopeful graph. Is this true? Wow. Gallons per capita per day consumption, 10-year history in Orem. That's amazing. Or really good. I don't know how that compares to other cities or other states, but
Darren, I
yeah.
would be interested in running a regression on that between that table and the growth of multi-unit housing in Orem.
Okay.
Just because my suspicion is it's not necessarily because people are conserving deliberately, but it may be a structural thing where we have fewer lawns to water.
Okay.
Per capita.
Okay. So we would solve all our water problems if we would just turn our single family housing into high density housing. I bet that would go over well as a proposal. Yeah.
I hear a lot of people blaming high density for our high water use.
Oh, really?
You have, whatever, 50 people now, where usually you'd have 4 or 5.
Except for on a per capita basis, this is per capita.
Yeah.
Will you still go down?
No, I mean, I think those people are not correct, but you hear that argument.
Oh,
a lot.
right. I see.
Because you're packing more
we're
people
more
into a
people.
building.
Yeah.
And so if you've got more capita, right, if you have more
Right.
heads, then you would have more total
More total.
usage.
Yeah, that'd be interesting too, to see like how much a high density building uses, because they do need shower, dishwasher, laundry. How that compares to the lawn.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that might be part of it, though, that. Okay, cool. Now we're getting more towards our goals, or more the middle of the report, so maybe we should kind of look at some of these a little bit more closely. Statewide water conservation plan recommends conservation goals, decrease water use by 20% from 2015 to 2030. That's great that the state has these goals in place. Using these guidelines, so it sounds like the city's taking these goals seriously. 261 gallons per capita per day in 2015, and 3.5% reduction per year. Okay, so this is what we want to do, and the city is on. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just thinking, like, so the goal by 2030 is to get it down to 209.
209.1.
If we go back to that graph of how other states do, where would we be? We would still be the darkest blue. Okay, I'm just curious.
That was a good point.
Nice point.
Yeah.
So it's very doable.
So we've got a ways to go,
Yeah.
but
Some of it's like climate, right?
Yeah.
Other places that don't have, like, they don't need sprinklers.
yeah, it is. That's
true.
though, some of these places also have desert climates. So they've done a better job of xeriscaping in some of these other places, though, right? I mean, that's the typical story I hear. Right? It seems likely to be true. And you do see people talking about xeriscaping and trying to do it more these days. So 5-year rolling average, yeah, we're headed there. In fact, we would get there. What's the goal? 209?
We're already practically there this last year.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
If we have a good water year this year, will it just bounce
Yeah.
right back, because people won't be thinking we're in a drought anymore.
Yeah. Why is there this funny every other year thing? are people like, oh, I did extra good last year, I could be bad this year?
I don't know. I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, it's funny.
It might just, one idea might be that some years are rainier, right? And so
Yeah,
people see the brown in their lawns more in some years than others, and so they turn more water on.
but you are right. We hit the goal this year. Congratulations, Orem. I mean, in our worst drought year, people actually, I don't know, this restores my faith in humanity a little bit. People actually look around and say, we're in a drought. Maybe I should use less water. Good for people. 4 water challenges, pricing. Okay, this is maybe worth looking at for another minute. Let's see, 4-tier system. 4-tier system. I don't know. Are we learning anything here? It's just how they. I'm not sure we're learning a lot from that.
I remember that's what Reed was saying, like, it's great when we conserve for a conservation side, but they don't make as much money, so they start to have issues potentially down the road maintaining or building infrastructure. That's a little bit of trade-off there.
Right. Okay, so this is cool. Education, City of Orem's partnered with Alpine School District to provide elementary, junior high, and high school students an educational experience. Water meters, we keep talking about how this is going to be updated.
I got my new one.
Did you?
Yeah, I finally got my new one.
How do you know when you get one?
It's a black plastic plate in your lawn. or whatever.
Went to bed last night.
Dome on it.
They don't actually tell you.
No.
They will probably tell you at some point.
I just walked out there one day and I was like, oh, they switched.
And does it work somehow? No, you
Well,
can't.
I have no idea.
Well,
Yeah, they don't have the software.
We don't have the software.
No.
Okay.
But they are replacing.
And then increased operating expenses. Yeah. Okay. So these are 4 things that just kind of structure what needs to happen. Is that there's a pricing structure, there's the educational structure, there's a replacement thing, and there's increased operating expenses. Okay, so here's the goals. Reduce the city's water use to reflect regional water conservation goals for 2030. Okay. Goal 2, maintain an effective conservation-oriented water pricing structure each year. I think what that means is that that's kind of the tiers. The more you use, then the more the rate goes up, right? Yeah. Complete the meter replacement project and construct a tertiary treatment process at the water reclamation facility to produce secondary water for irrigation by 2025. He was telling us about that. That is only going to be secondary water for irrigation in some places, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the lakes and lakeside spring water, okay. Continue education efforts to the public regarding water conservation. And replace automatic sprinkler controllers in all city-owned properties and newer technology by 2025. Oh, sounds promising. Okay. Well, we are near out of time. I believe this has been helpful to just sort of familiarize ourselves with it.
Yeah.
And maybe we can recirculate that to the committee and invite people to look at it more deeply. And we could continue this discussion next time after we've had a chance to think about it a little bit. Is that appropriate?
Yeah, I think so.
I can make sure it's sent out.
Thank you.
Sounds good to me.
I want to say happy holidays to all of you. Thank you for your service. I'm hoping to be reassigned in January, but you never know what committee I'll end up with, but.
Okay. That sounds great.
Debbie, was just one request. If you're not reassigned to our committee, can you just make sure we get the best possible person other than you?
If I thought I had influence with the mayor, I would tell you that I have 0.
That's great.
Thank you, Debbie. Really appreciate all your presence this year.
Happy to do, and you guys are You guys have done a great job and I appreciate all of your conservation, all of your public information on our website. I know a lot of my neighbors just watered only twice a week instead of 3. And so I think our message got out there. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, something seems to be working where people are getting the message a little bit.
Yes. Thank
As
you.
I
Thank
talk-
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Bye-bye.
So our last 2 items on the agenda were the budget and the WattSmart Communities Plan. Is there any reason why we couldn't push those forward to next month?
Yeah, we can.
We can push those forward. Okay, let's push those forward. All right, so then I think the last thing we'll need to do is approve the minutes from last week. Have a motion to approve.
I also have a
It looks
paper
good to
copy.
me. I did look at it.
Well, why don't you move that?
Okay, Hillary moved to approve.
Second.
Okay, the motion has been seconded. All in favor of approving the minutes from last month?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I don't think so. It's unanimous. Okay. And then do I have a motion to adjourn? To adjourn. Okay. The motion is to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Very good.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much, Matt. We appreciate all your work for us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michaela. Thank you very much.
Thanks, friends.
Interesting. I find this very interesting. I geek out on that. So.
Thanks, Michaela.
Of course. Bye, Quinn, travel safely.
Bye. Have a good trip.